Hi, my name is Krista Tarantelli and I am 19 years old. What I do for a living is I am a Mercedes-Benz certified technician, and in my free time, I work on my 350Z. So about a year ago, I picked up my 350Z at Willow Springs Raceway by one of my good friends, Rob Carlson. When I got the car, it had rod knock. And so I was originally planning on rebuilding it. It turns out it spun a bearing, and so I just didn't want to go through the hassle of doing a full rebuild of a VQ35DE. So I was lucky enough to get a full powertrain and transmission from SoCal JDM Motors, and so I pulled out the previous motor and put this one in, and now it is fully running. I got into cars when I was 15 years old. Growing up for me, I didn't really have everything easy. It was kind of hard for me to find what I'm truly good at and what I'm capable of. I've always had a thing for cars, and the more friends I made in the car scene, the more and more I fell in love with them, and I started to learn more about them. And I definitely can say I didn't start taking cars seriously until I was about 16 years old. When I was 16 years old was when I, started to study cars and how they worked, and I would go to the school library and find every car book I could find and read about them. I would use my parents' cars to work on them, whether it be, a battery change, oil change, or even putting back on a wheel. That's where it all started. As I started making more connections in the car scene, my friends and I would go to events at Willow Springs Raceway a couple Saturdays a month, or as much as we can. And I had this one friend who had another friend that was competing in Pro-Am. He had a single turbo 240SX S14, and I was able to get a ride along. The moment I got to ride along in that drift car was when I immediately got hooked, and I was like, okay, I have to try this. It is so different than any other form of motorsports, and it definitely gives me more of an adrenaline rush, and I live for the adrenaline rush. When I first started to try drifting for the first time, it definitely was hard. The more and more I started practicing, the more determined I got, and I would start out doing figure eights. I just started, doing baby steps. What attracted me the most into getting a 350Z is it is such an easy chassis to work with. You don't really need to do much to it to get it to drift. So far, all I have done to my 350Z is a welded diff, a stock VQ35DE, and a CD09 transmission. I also have a Mishimoto cooling system and a full interior setup from D&D Performance Interior. Today is drift prep, and I will be doing an oil change and installing my rear upper camber arms from GK Tech just to zero out my camber, and so I can get more laps at the track, and that is basically it. So today it was my first day taking my Z on track, and it definitely was a really different feeling because I've just been so used to, drifting with a Miata since that was the first car that I learned to drift in. What I did notice is the car had a lot of understeer. I do not have grippier tires up front, so I definitely want to change that out and get a more grippier tire up front. So I definitely need upper control arm so I can adjust my camber. I know I need to work on my steering. I need to have less steering because right now sometimes I'm just like this, but it needs to be like smooth transitions, grab. It's like just way smoother, and I cannot be all over the place, and I definitely need to know when to clutch in and clutch out. I definitely feel like I have my transitions down in the S section, but I need to get my entries, and I need to hook that first hairpin up there. I just need to learn this car since today is my first day, but so far we're getting there.